Welcome back to Cinema Flicks Music Picks. I'm Elton, your host with the most, the beast with the least, and I don't think we really fooled anyone there, did we? Oh well. Still, we're here to have a look at Elton's 50th anniversary edition of Honky Château. So here we are, just out this week, or yesterday was it? Comes in a little slipcasey thing, and you get two elements on CD. You get this, which is pretty much just gatefoldy. That has your CDs. There you go, with the BGM logos and whatnot. Same on the other one. Let's just check. It's neat. So your other part then must be a booklet. Now, of course, is the chateau itself, the Château d'Auverville. Very informative booklet, nicely done. Plenty of reading, absolutely tons. Look, not just padded it with photos. I saw a Rolling Stones anniversary book. Oh, it's awful noisy at that. I saw a Rolling Stones anniversary book, and they wanted like £100, and it was just photos. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's high quality paper and things. Be like, what am I going to do with them? Just stare at them and go, oh yeah. I suppose that was a nice shirt that Keith wore that night. But yeah, plenty of stuff here. There's master tapes. What's that one for? Susie, then called Black Eyed Susie and Salvation. And Rocket Man and Mellow. So that's an essay by Darryl Easley from September 2022. Some more tapes. We like all this stuff, all the geeky stuff. And then you get, I always love it when you do this, give you singles, international versions, and obviously your lyrics. You need the lyrics. We want to celebrate Bernie as well, so that's how good cover, isn't it? It's Lift Off, Elton John, Rocket Man, black and white. Nothing says the space age like black and white. Psychedelic Japanese cover there. Yeah, some nifty stuff. And here's the timeline of events. So January the 7th, Elton and band with brand new member David Johnston on the guitars flee. Well, it says flies, but flee from London to Paris, France, and it takes you all the way through to April the 4th, where they do a promotional photo shoot. No, it doesn't. Next page takes you through to July the 15th, where Rocket Man peaks at number 6 on the Billboard's charts. So this story's got a happy ending, as if you didn't know. First number 1 album in America for Elton John. Congratulations, Ernie, Bernie, Davey D and Nigel, and Dozy Dave McIntyre. Yeah, this is the first album that's got the full Elton John band as we now know them, the classic lineup of Davey Johnston, Dee Murray and Nigel Olsson. The tour ends in St. Petersburg, Florida, so it's taking you right through the year pretty much, which is pretty nifty. And they're going back to that Lift Off. They're really doubling down on the rocket analogy there, aren't they? And then all sorts of thanks and credits and whatnot. I think everybody and their granny's in here. Yep, I'm in here. You're in here. And Sir Lucian Grange is in there. Oh. The fuzz. Now, as always, bit dull just to talk about the packaging. So what about the music? Well, I didn't know what they'd used for the source for this, so I actually See, I do some homework sometimes. I emailed Universal and asked them what are they using for this, and it's the 2017 remaster. Okay, so it's no need to do a new remaster. It was only done in 2017, but they confirmed this is the 2017 remaster. So if you haven't heard it, or you have an older edition, this is a great remaster. Davy Johnson's guitar parts and string parts are much more up in the mix. Elton's voice is much clearer, especially his backing vocal parts. Let's go through a few of the tracks. Mellow, the mix is just much denser. You can. It really feels like a more developed track just because of the mixing that's been done on it. Again, not that there was too much wrong with the old versions, especially if you had the super audios, but still. On Honky Cat, the overdubbed Rhodes that Elton was using on top of the piano and the banjo, you can hear them all very distinctly. Mellow has a kick drum and an echo in the lead vocal that's not been terribly clear before. Jean-Luc Ponty's violin on it sounds phenomenal, better than it's ever sounded. Think I'm Gonna Kill Myself, there's a lot more of that rhythm acoustic guitar from Davy that again just didn't sound, it was almost like I'm hearing a completely different version at times, because just adding one instrument quite prominently to the mix or bringing it up front completely changes what you know, really. It's quite something on that. Susie, it's always sounded to me like it's a leftover from Tumbleweed. I don't know if it actually was or not, or Black Eyed Susie as we just saw in the booklet. It's not my favourite song on the album, but it's definitely got a much older vocal style from him. It sounds like when he's still doing that kind of the band kind of style. Rocket Man, do you need to hear anything about Rocket Man? The way that Dee plays the bass on it, I think really leads the song. The backing vocals by everyone are really well mixed on this version. You'll get to hear them again sounding quite independent, so you'll be able to appreciate just the backing vocals on Rocket Man for the first time a lot more. The electric guitar parts as well. Salvation, it's never been my favourite track on the record, but I love the chorus. I think it's one of the greatest choruses that could come off of Yellow Brick Road, really. In fact, it's a bit the night they drove Old Dixie down, if you ask me, the whole song. Slave, again, goes back a little bit to Tumbleweed, I think. There's a lot of Tumbleweed still in Slave, with the lap steel solo, which, again, you get to hear a lot more prominently in this version. The layers of banjos that are on it, so it's not a mush of sound anymore when things are layered. Now you can hear the layers individually. That's really the big difference between this and previous versions. You do get, we'll go into the alternate versions. I made my note with the same one, and obviously that's got Ponty on it as well, doing his electric violin shtick. Mona Lisa's a Mad Hatters. One of my favourite Elton songs. Rose trees never grow in New York City. Oh, Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters. I love that song so much. I always thought that's the Tiny Dancer of this album, and if it was on an Almost Famous or a film like that, it would have really taken, gone supernova in the public consciousness. It's never quite happened. I think it was in that Julia Roberts movie where she was a college lecturer. I can't remember the name of it. Thingamy was in it, Kirsten Dunst. I've forgotten it. So if I've forgotten it, believe me, you've forgotten it too. It needs to be in a big epic thing that people will know, and then we can really get everybody into into Mona Lisas and Mad Hatters. Let's go into the extras though. There's a disc and a half really. You get demos and live. So the demos are really cool, not just for the performances, but also because they've kept all the studio chat in. So the Salvation demo, the backing vocals are absolutely insanely brilliant on it. Better than the album version, for my money. Better than the album version. You do get a fast version of Slave, which I think there's a middle ground to be found there. I don't like the fast version of Slave, it's way too fast, but then I like the album version when it picks up a little bit, so I think there might be a middle ground to be found in there, and probably just having both gives us the middle ground anyway, and we can leave it to the imagination. Susie, the demo for that, is instrumental, apart from a little bit of studio gaga at the start and Elton swearing a couple of times. It's how terrible like him, eh? Rocket Man begins with, they're doing a kind of Dune show. Peter Sellers, Spike Milligan, they're doing that kind of shtick. So Elton's doing all these ridiculous, silly voices, and then does a version of Rocket Man that you'd swear was the studio version. So at this point the band are so tight that they can just do it exactly the same way twice. Exactly the same way. It's really, I mean, the bass is a little bit heavier, it's a bit higher in the mix. The backing vocals are a bit different, and it completely falls apart towards the end where they lose it, but apart from that you'd struggle to recognise that it was a different version for whole sections. Mellow is much more downbeat than the album version. There's a lovely false start on it. The kick drum here is massive. And then that's where we find the fast version of Slave. The demo of Honky Cat, Elton introduces as Lonky Chat. So I don't know if they had the album title by then, but it's it was already playing about with some French wordplay, so he says one go at Lonky Chat. So I thought that was quite fun. It's a bit slower, nothing majorly different there either. It's a bit more like Rocket Man, where it's quite similar. I think I'm going to kill myself, because I've always loved that title, it's quite direct. We get two versions. One is underdeveloped and it's clearly a very embryonic version and it falls apart. The next version is very similar to the album take. It's a little bit slower. You get a false couple of starts to Hercules, which you can hear Nigel asking, should we play it faster? Should we play it faster? And I'm going, no. So I think Nigel was the one pushing for the faster stuff, and Elton was the one that said, no, slow it down. And you can hear Elton actually kind of moaning a bit that his opening drum fills were putting Elton off, which is quite fun to listen to. And then the other demo you get of Slave isn't terribly different, with some weird banjo on it, some out of place banjo. The live tracks itself wouldn't stand up to release as a separate audio. They've cleaned it up as much as possible, but it's still not top tier audio, but it's very, very listenable. Elton's voice is way up front. The guitar is nice and audible. The bass and the rhythm section basically is where it falls apart a little bit. It's not high enough quality for you to really want a separate release of. So you get 8 tracks from Honky Château as the live versions. It's one of those historical versions. Honky Cat sounds terrific, and it's a bit shorter than the studio version. If you know the version from Here and There, then that will sound really different, because it's completely the opposite. Whereas it explodes into a bigger song there, here it becomes a more intimate song. Rocket Man, this is the first time it was ever done live, was on this performance. It's a bit rushed, but you can tell they know they've got a hit. They know this is the song. This is the song. Hercules is sloppy. The electric guitar is a little bit out of place because they're doing that instead of having the acoustic. But there's a sense that you're getting the full band here, so things are being lost in translation and gaining other things in translation at the same time. It's a little frustrating because I do want the full concert, and I know it circulates, so they've done what they can here to get it into a 2-disc set. And this is an era where I want more live Elton, because I don't think the 1970, the 17/11/70, I've never thought that was a great live album. The expanded one that came out that's got the full show is much better, but his material just wasn't there by 1970. Whereas by 72, certainly by 73, I mean, come on, give us a live record from the Yellow Brick Road tour, for goodness sake. We got to compare. I mean, this is what we're getting for the 50th anniversary, right, of Honky Château. Look what we got for Madman. Big box set with we got all the demos for a full version and a full alternate version of the album, live radio broadcasts, single versions, extended versions, alternate with Mick Ronson. Then we got the BBC sounds for Saturday, so we got a full version of the album live, and on Blu-ray we got that full version of the album live and an Old Grey Whistle Test performance live to watch as a video, not just the audio. And then you get a 5.1 mix of the full album on Blu-ray audio, and a massive big book full of memorabilia. And I've done a video on that. You can look that up if you want. This is a more famous album. Why is it only getting this? I mean, this is lovely for what it is. This is lovely. This is absolutely terrific. But where's the box set? I'm normally not one who says box sets for everything, but this is Honky Château by Elton John. This is his coming out party. This is his. I'm no longer just Elton John. I'm now superstar Elton John. I'm now one of the biggest stars in the world, and it's just not quite celebratory enough. So it's great to have the Royal Festival Hall performance, albeit a clipped version, because we're only getting the Honky Château tracks. It's great to have those really fun demos from the Château, where who else recorded? Jethro Tull did the Château Disaster tapes. The Stones did Exile on Main Street, famous studio. And the album has never sounded better. Most importantly, the album has never sounded better. But it just feels like a missed opportunity for me to really give us just the ultimate package for Honky Château. There's definitely live performances that could be added to this. Full live performances. There's definitely TV stuff. There's definitely footage that was taken. There's even footage of that actual concert, not in the best quality, but it's on YouTube. Maybe a making of documentary. I don't know. This is just a little bit. Come on, this is one of your most famous albums, and this. I mean, Madman's my favourite, but it's not his most famous. Compare and contrast which has got the better treatment. Oh well, can't win them all, but what you do get here is a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, just that it could have been even more of a 10. Anyway, thank you very much for your patience. I still recommend it for what it is. It's just knowing what it isn't. Folks, thank you very much. As always, stay very. It's doing that white colour. It's doing that facial thing. Thanks very much for the time. Stay very safe out there, and as always, love and mercy.